I love sweet God magnet. Lobsters and I told you grab it. Welcome to Lobster Magnet's Review, the channel, the review. I'm here with my buddy Gorogregoro.
Yes, I'm here.
Why do you have that little thing on your thumb? Did you use the Stone Age technology?
Yeah, I actually have a scab of my under my fingernail because I was collecting too much iron for to create the Iron Age and Dr. Stone.
Yes. I don't know how you managed to do that, but okay, I'll accept your medical malady. So, Greg, what did you think of Chapter 21 of Dr. Stone, of the rapidly improving series?
I thought they introduced a great, cute little mascot character.
Yeah, that seems what the main purpose was. Like, I have mixed feelings about this chapter. Well, it definitely was still on the upward trend. I still think it was a really good piece of work. I'm not a huge fan of like the mascot watermelon girl.
Is it a girl or is it?
I think it's a girl. Her name's like Seku, or something with an S. I'm like 90% Suika. I'm pretty sure it's a girl. And like, oh, Suika's gonna go into detective mode. Oh, she's gonna take her water ride.
I thought that was cute. You know, it's like a cute little mascot moment where it's just like, oh, even a mascot can do something to help the world of science.
Yeah, I did like that theme that like Seku had, where basically like in the land of science, everyone has a use. Like, the little girl's like supposed to be analogous for like a disabled person, I guess. And his logic is that anyone can pull their weight in the land of science, so she can also be of use, even though she's small and hides in a fucking piece of fruit.
I guess not just like a direct metaphor for disabled people, but just like a very sort of alienated, shut-in kind of people who feel like they're useless and stuff, I guess.
The hikimaru, you ever hear that term, Greg?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like basically like people in Japan who just like stay in their rooms all day and they're like,
right. We watched an anime entirely based around that. I don't know if it's pronounced that way, but it's...
I probably mangled the pronunciation, but I know it's like something with an H.
Hikikomori.
Are you talking about like the Welcome to the NHK?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. It's a well-worn subject. In some ways, you were a little Hikimori with your League of Legends days.
Yeah.
So see, in the kingdom of science, everyone has a purpose, and that was the one thing that like justified it a little bit more. And the really interesting thing is that like, I should have done some homework, but they like talked about like this Japanese folk tale, from what I could tell from my limited research. And like Seku was like wondering like, how do they know about this? And that to me was really interesting, where like the Riku girl, Miss Waifu-itis, like now became like infinitely more interesting than just like fan art, love interest, sex object, in the sense that like maybe she's like the cultural village. Like there's this great scene. Have you ever seen Breath of Fire?
No, can't say I have.
I think it's either Breath of Fire. No, it's Reign of Fire. So Reign of Fire is like there's an alternate universe where like this is like, all right, let's say I told you there was this movie where Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey team up to fight dragons.
Okay, sounds okay.
No, you like in today's context, you'd be like, "Oh my god, that sounds like the most amazing movie ever. Why am I not watching this movie? Why is this movie not a thing?" Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey together, holy shit, that's fucking amazing. That's like
I don't know. I don't really like Christian Bale that much anymore, but Matthew McConaughey is pretty cool. I just don't feel like those two would really do well together.
Well, they're kind of like opposite forces. All right, so the point I bring up of Reign of Fire is that there's this brilliant scene where, like, basically, like, dragons have burned the earth, and Christian Bale's, like, leading this, like, sort of, like, this group of people who are just hiding out in a castle hoping that, like, they can survive the dragon apocalypse. And then, to, like, entertain the kids, they have these scenes where they, like, reenact, like, Star Wars. And so basically they reenact like movies they're familiar with, and then they do like the I am your father scene, and the kids are like, oh my god, oh, they're like so into it, and then like after they're done, there's like, do Lion King. So that's what I'm like kind of hoping, that like somehow our culture has transferred over to this like new culture, new group of Stone Age people. So they have like all these legends of like Transformers or Evangelion and all this other stuff. That's what I'm like. Like if Dr. Stone goes all the way, that's what I'm kind of hoping. Although it looks like it'll be classier and it'll be like more like Japanese folk tales. But I would love this, the great story of the Dragon Balls and Son Goku, who had the power to ignite the sun. That would be fucking amazing. That's what I'm really, really hoping that they do with the Rikiki, whatever the hell her name is.
Yeah.
If they do,
Rikiki.
then I will be. Yeah. That'll be really fun and interesting. And she's now much more interesting. But we should also talk about the interesting conflict of like, how do you melt iron? I love that sort of thing where it's like, we need to get it up to 1,500 degrees to melt iron.
Yeah. So he needs like the cooperation with the entire village, pretty much.
Yeah, also I love that like facial fracture moment with Kohaku, the caveman.
Oh, she looks like a Titan from Attack on Titan.
Yeah, that was really funny. that like single-handedly made her a more engaging character and gave her a little bit more personality. I also love the art. Like usually I don't like those over exaggerating things, but considering that she's just like, oh, I'm the pretty girl and I fight. I thought that did a lot in terms of like making her more interesting.
Well, I don't know. It's just a cool looking facial fracture to me. Like, it basically just took like some random art from like Attack on Titan, like superimposed it on her face somehow. But it's just
I liked it a lot more than you did, but I don't know. To me, it was like it added a little bit more to her, that even though she's like pretty like a boring character right now.
I wouldn't say she's like completely boring. She's got like motivations to help, her sister.
Well, true, but
she's got like kung fu, caveman kung fu.
But like, would you say that like she's as good or as interesting as like any of the characters from My Hero Academia?
I'll tell you what, she's better than Endurance Guy right now. Like,
I'll give you that. She's better than Endurance Guy. But Endurance Guy is a very, very low.
And Arts and Craft Girl.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're kind of out of the story right now. Yeah. It was a smart decision. Yeah, I like that whole thing. We need the whole village's help to like construct iron, and now the we're gonna see what the little rhinestone girl looks like when she takes off her rind hat. And so far, she's like she's probably gonna be the mascot of Dr. Stone.
Yeah, at least for now.
For now, until they like find like a monkey or like a baby tiger or something.
Maybe they can have several mascot characters. Like, I think there's like a cute little dog character in the village as well. So
yeah, that could be there's a lot of ways you can have a mascot character. Although since Dr. Stone exists in a slightly realistic world, or at least a heightened realistic world, you'd have to have like make sure that like even if it's a puppy that it grows up eventually, or you show that progression.
As realistic as a watermelon headed child world can be.
I could still believe it. It's got like a hyper aesthetic, but like I'd say it's more grounded than, I don't know, something like Bleach or most of the like shit in Shonen Jump.
Okay.
You don't believe that at all.
Maybe to some extent, in like in terms of all the factual scientific shit that's going on. But like I guess like all the extreme things like some of the characters do.
Yeah. The ninja fighting is obviously, and like everything Primate Guy does is all like exists in this hyper reality,
like
that does not
shooting like pieces of stone like in the tigers' faces.
Kill fucking lions.
Like in the split 10 seconds that he's like waking up, he's like, "What's the situation?"
Yeah,
totally realistic.
That's not, like I said, a heightened reality.
Okay.
In the sense that like these are characters that abide somewhat by our rules, even if they exist in like, I don't know, raid rules where like everyone's like a kung fu martial arts super expert.
so realistic. You can hear the parrot screeches in the background from the
It is
jungle.
a really powerful screech. I mean, like, I have them like the door closed. Maybe I should have like 2 layers, but like, there you go. You know, Captain Crunch is saying he should be the
sound
mascot.
foam, like all over the bird room. You know, to absorb all the sound.
You know, I should have a. You know what I need? I should like write a petition that Captain Crunch and Quaker Parrot should be the mascot of Dr. Stone.
Or just like inhabit the world of Dr. Stone, so then Seku could just be like, "Cuckoo, these birds are so annoying."
These birds must have migrated to Japan in the 3,000 years, and because the Quaker parrots are so smart, they built nests. I can learn from these birds.
Yeah.
We can train these birds into messengers for the science kingdom.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, but that could be, that'd be okay, I guess. Anyway, what were we talking about before?
We were talking about we were just discussing about like the iron and the fact that like, you know, the funny scene where they're like trying to heat up the iron and they can barely do it and they're all winded and horribly like, you know, winded. I think we've basically covered all the things in this chapter. You know, things are going smoothly. I'm enjoying like these people a lot more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like
especially after they were first introduced, just like a page of like little boxes like introducing each one with their picture and name.
Was, like, terrible. Like, oh, here's 40 new characters. It's like, bitch, if they're that important, just like introduce them one by one. Like, you don't need to just. I still can't decide if that's the laziest or the most hardworking thing I've ever seen. So, Greg, what would you give this rating? What would you rate this chapter?
It was a solid 8. I liked it.
I agree. It was an 8. It was a fun chapter. It's like continuing the upward trends of of Dr. Stone.
They're showing teamwork, building up that science, and getting iron. And the whole Riki thing is interesting. I'm curious why she's the only one in the village that is like the source of all these stories.
If I had to guess, I think like, you know, she's like a special mage or magister, and she's like the only one who can read. And then they teach the skill of like reading from like one mage to the next or whatever. And like that's how she's able to like know all this knowledge of all these stories and whatnot. And like I said, now she's gone from like stupid to like much more interesting. Oh yeah, we have the revelation that that Chrome likes Riki.
Oh, well, I thought that was obvious in the previous chapter in some way. Well, it's like hinted at.
It wasn't that hinted, but it was like made more obvious. So now Chrome has his like, you know, impossible love interest because, you know, she's the village beauty and he's just like, I don't know, schmuck guy.
It gives Chrome a better reason to help Senku with this all cure thing, because instead of just being like, oh, I'm forever your apprentice slave, you know. So it gives him like a little bit more motivation for his character, which I think is nice.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's definitely a nice thing. Yeah, so it's definitely a good 8, solid piece of manga storytelling. Definitely an upward trend. Now I feel less embarrassed about Dr. Stone like I did a few weeks ago. You know, I think it's performing well, and I think there's a good chance that, like, you know, who knows? Maybe it'll assume Big 3 status alongside. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's too. It's hard to say. It still has a lot of potential, but I think you know, there is a chance it could assume. Like right now, I guess the big 2, like the closest to the Big 3 status is, of course, One Piece is the king. My Hero Academia, I think, is like probably the most successful thing to come out of Jump in a long time. I think it's like just the coverage I'm seeing on YouTube definitely puts it at like number 2. And I feel like there's a third slot that is like being closely contested by Promised Neverland and Dr. Stone.
What about Hunter x Hunter?
I don't know. Hunter x Hunter is a weird beast. It doesn't even like if you look at the ratings, it's always like the last one. I feel like in Shonen Jump they don't even rate it. It's just like this evergreen immortal series that is like above the system. That like Togashi's like earned a very rare status for a mangaka where he can like come and go as he pleases, and he's just treated like royalty. So it doesn't even matter if you like Hunter x Hunter or not.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Hunter x Hunter should be immortalized as a series. It doesn't matter what the ratings are. It's always good. It's always
It's
interesting.
always welcome. It doesn't, it's not gonna like get canceled. It's been consistent. It's never gonna go away.
What about
Yeah, like let's see, Hunter x Hunter.
What about Promised Neverland? Could that be a potential number 3 spot?
Yeah, possibly. I think Promised Neverland. It's been doing really strongly. It's been doing really strongly in the ratings. So I think there's a really good chance that it could like have that. It needs an anime though before it's like going to get to that next level. It's just like I'm not seeing that sort of like fan devotion.
Oh, I'd love to see a Dr. Stone anime too.
We'll have to wait for that. It's going to be a while. Like Promised Neverland is like I'd say a year away for an anime. I think it needs to have at least 100 chapters, 80 at the minimum. Before that happens, and Dr. Stone is like so far away. But you know what? When it happens,
really is.
We called it first. We got on the Dr. Stone train. Fuck you. You're all posers. We're the,
we're the real hipster manga.
Yeah, we're the real hipster mangaka otaku guys.
I guess manga readers.
Yeah. Greg's got his glasses. You got nothing on us. Yeah. All right, so Greg, what should we? So we both give it an 8. Good chapter. What should we shill today?
Watermelons.
Fine.
Yes.
I'm going to find something about watermelons. It's going to be up there. Click it down there. Go get your watermelon something or another. It'll be watermelon themed. I don't know what it is. It could be anything. Because, like, the time I put it in...
Japanese square watermelons?
I don't know if they sell those. I've seen those. Those are freaky as fuck, but...
I mean, it's just like growing a watermelon inside a cube, basically.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if they have that. My guess is no, but then again, Amazon is doing more produce stuff. Okay. Japanese square watermelon. Holy fuck. Limited Japanese big square. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, buy a Japanese limited square watermelon from Amazon. Yeah. This is the future. You can get your food that has like been twisted beyond the comprehensions of God, because fuck God. It's all about science. Science is the one true ruler of this universe. Fuck that supernatural shit. Show mankind's arrogance and domination over the natural world by buying the square mutant watermelon just to say fuck you, nature. I'm mankind.
Just think about how efficient it is to stack cubed watermelons on top of each other. Cool.
And you could make a hat out of it when you're done. It's cosplay and food at the same time.
Of course, you probably want a round watermelon for this kind of cosplay for this character. Sorry.
Yeah. Actually, though, well, it says seeds. Well, whatever. You want this square watermelon. Here's the thing you can get to get your goddamn square watermelon. Because the Japanese is twisted nature. They have created an aberration against God because only man can rule in the age of science.
Exactly.
Science! We'll conquer death in this universe and stars with science!
It's showing the true cruelty of science.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Alright, so, get your square watermelons down there in the link. Buy it or buy something else that you actually want. That's how it works. If you buy something else by clicking on the link, it still helps us out. Or get a square watermelon. So anyway, thank you for watching this. It was a pleasure. And remember, lobsters and tennis, but don't you grab it.